This is kind of an impromptu video that I wasn't originally going to do, but then I thought to myself that I wanted to know what my three-finger ranking was, and my Sawtooth ranking, and all that. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well rank every villain in the Wrong Turn franchise so that I don't have to do those separately for their own videos for the major characters. And I think this is something I'm going to do from now on with, like, if I rank all the Jasons, I'll put Mrs. Voorhees in that ranking, or, like, if I rank all the Leatherfaces, I'll put all the Sawyers and Hewitts in there, which I plan on doing that one, too. I'm not planning on doing the Hills Have Eyes one, even though the three of them are getting their own video together, because I just wouldn't have any fun ranking the Hills Have Eyes villains for obvious reasons. The Wrong Turn villains are iconic. Well, most of them. Like half of them. We have 35 placements on this list, and 2 of them are groups that are grouped together. Number 35 is every Foundation member that either doesn't have a name or is, like, not very important. This includes Samuel that gets his head bashed in, Cullen that gets the arrow through the neck and eye, and Standard that gets the axe in the back, and just every one of them that doesn't have a name or a line. They're all looped together right here. They don't do much, they're not that memorable, and most of them, like I said, just pretty much are there to get ganked. And that they do. At number 34, we have Baby Three Toes from Wrong Turn 2. I am separating him from the other Three Toes the same way I'm separating everyone from everyone by actor. He's literally an animatronic baby that's fugly as hell. Damn, that's an ugly ass baby! And, yeah. Interesting to have a baby Hilliker, but I would feel bad if I put him above any of the people who I actually have actors' names written down. Speaking of actors' names, coming in at 33 is the first one that I can say, because I wish I did look up the actors for the other parts that I did mention and the people that did the puppeteering, but I didn't. Our last place mutant that is played by a human is One Eye from the 5th movie. The actor's name's pretty rad. Radislav Parnavov. And, yeah, I don't like the makeup, I don't like the performance, I don't like that the mutants are subservient to, Maynard. Might be the closest to the original One Eye, but I still don't find it as good as the other two, and it's the fact that he's not as good as Six's One Eye says a lot. Interesting fact, the actor that plays this One Eye in the 5th movie comes back in the 6th movie and plays Three Finger. And you'll notice that his Three Finger is actually a bit higher. He doesn't really score any kills himself, but he helps with all the kills that all 3 of them are in, pretty much. I mean, obviously. So yeah, he's not very memorable, and I think that his portrayal of One Eye's resulting. One thing when it's portrayed realistically and with respect. It's another when it's clearly, like, a bad phoned-in joke. Like I said, I just hate when the mutants are subservient to someone else. 32, we have One Eye from Wrong Turn 6. Asen Asanov. The main problem with this one is that I barely even remember he's in the fucking movie. He's just a background killer, basically. He, doesn't kill anyone on his own. He helps with some kills. Not even very many in this one. He's really restricted to a background character. It's quite insulting. To say the performance isn't as insulting. Number 31 is everyone from the 6th movie that isn't on the list. So there's 6 killers in the 6th movie that are on the list, and then the rest of them, just everyone that was at the barbecue where they ate Vic, and Danny drank blood and fucked Sally. Everyone else that was there that isn't named is here. Obviously, I don't have all the actors and actresses' names for that, but that's where that goes. They're just creepy Hillikers, and I'm not putting in whoever killed Brandon, and I'm assuming they're at this party, or at least that was, kind of the intent. into account for this placement really help that much. They're just there. Number 30 is Hobbs from the new movie, played by Channing Morrow. He's like a weirdo. Like, he looks like a weirdo and he acts like a weirdo. He's about to rape Jenny at the end there. Luckily, she stabs him to fuck. Ranked pretty high on my kills ranked. He's a real sleazebag, and he's not that great. Obviously, he's pretty low on this list. Thing involving the darkness and what's allowed to go on there is so much worse than like the mutants, and this character's just not very fun. And we have Sawtooth from the 6th movie. This actor's name is pretty dank because it's Danko Jordanov, and yeah, no, I don't know. He does a better job than One Eye, obviously. I just like Sawtooth more than One Eye anyway. He's kind of a background killer. He does more than One Eye does in this movie, which is appropriate. Again, just underutilized side character, and it really is like it's not the way you're supposed to use Sawtooth, I don't think. Or One Eye. Well, One Eye was always that, but be subservient to Three Finger and Sawtooth. And maybe the mutants from the 2nd movie if they ever did one with both of those groups. We have Sawtooth from the 5th movie. Karlkowski. Yeah, that one's a bit hard for me, but I would say that he's playing it more deficient than Sawtooth actually is supposed to be, and I think that he's the only one that does that. Like, that he's subservient. I think the makeup looks pretty fucking bad in this movie, specifically with Sawtooth. See his lip and the prosthetic, like, and I don't know, it's just... gets bitch smacked with a wrench by Maynard and just kind of takes it. 7 is another killer from the newest movie, Morgan, played by Damian Mathey. Main characters first meet these bad guys. He's the one that lives, and he's the one that gives the testimony in court. He's the one that's gonna rape the poor blind woman before Jenny shoots his ass to death, and then the crazy people in the darkness, they they eat him, which, you know, is fun. The only cannibalism in the movie, which is was it necessary? I think so. Do you? I don't know. But I really love his performance in the courtroom scene. He's a better actor than most, if not everyone he's above, so... But you're supposed to hate this character, and it's... like, this character being hateable is more, like, likable than a character like One Eye or Sawtooth being portrayed forgettably when they're supposed to be so iconic. Number 26, which is our first Three Finger, which is Three Finger from the 6th movie. Played by Radislav Provanov. Yeah, he's the same guy that played One Eye in Wrong Turn 5. In this movie, he does a much better job. He's also given a much more iconic character with more screen time to base his performance off of. And I love Three Finger, but this version is so downplayed. He's a background character. Time makeup shit. It's the worst performance of Three Finger. Everyone generally agrees about that one. We have Stay Alive. We have Ruthie, played by Ryan Hanavan. The little girl from the newest movie. She stabs Adam in the leg. She helps Jennifer and Scott escape. She's with Jennifer at the end there. She's kind of not all the way a villain, but she's a villain, kind of. Barely deserves to be on this list, but if I'm putting her on this list, I like her more than everyone below her. and not as much as everyone above her. So, I don't know. There's not a lot to compare her on because she's not really that psychotic or anything. She just grew up in a very shitty situation that she definitely should not have been growing up in. But I guess so did everyone who lives there who wasn't essentially kidnapped. 4. And number 24 is Three Toes, played by Borislav Petrov. It's funny because there's 2 Borislavs in Wrong Turn 3, and I had never heard of one before. Then again, I am American, but I think that this kid does a great job of, like, he's clearly Three Fingers Kid. I mean, he doesn't do much besides fuck up a trap, get rescued, and then get murdered. You do feel bad for him, probably mostly because you saw him get born in the second movie. Might be sad other than Three Finger, just because, you know, he's the icon. And I'm more mad about that. There's like, I think Three Toes is the only kill that's kind of sad of like the mutants. My other videos, I think that the third movie would be better if the prisoners and the mutants had more of a war and there was more mutants involved. I mean, at the end they hint that there's more mutants. They could have easily designed more, but they didn't. Robson, he's in the first 2 movies. In the first movie, it seems pretty implied that he's not working with them because he hides from them when they show up until he realizes it's not them, and then he's just confused. And in the second movie, they reveal that he is their father. He's the father of Pa, Ma, Three Finger, Sawtooth, and One Eye. And then, of course, Pa and Ma spawn brother and sister, and Three Finger and Ma spawn Three Toes, and then everything else after that is just who the fuck knows. Hey, that rhymed. And he's iconic as hell, but he doesn't do a lot or kill anyone. Anything else. Not really that much of a villain. Moving on. Which is the age I'm turning this year. We have Edith, played by Daisy Head. I've never... Weird and sleazy. Like, spread your legs. Ugh. Like, her being complicit in this whole new group of killers in the Foundation, like, it's an extra layer of fucked because she's a female and she's allowing everything that's going on with, like, the whole rape aspect of their entire culture, like, is very just okay there, and it makes them all more vile than the mutants. But it's just actress, and that her sympathies for them when they're sentenced to darkness, and just how intimidating she is towards that last part where she's alive before she dies. It does heighten her up a little bit. Have Maynard Odettes, played by Doug Bradley. A sick, sleazy fucker. He's a rapist. In a cell and talking shit, saying that, oh, you're all gonna die, my boy's gonna come save me, and, like, you know, whatever, dude. You're not the guy. Bradley and him playing it so realistically. Sheriff and, like, people that just aren't on his level. Genius is part of why he's high. Just being played by Doug Bradley is part of why he's high. All the just nasty, awful shit about him, and the fact that he's just sitting around in a cell talking shit and doesn't really do much. He's completely underutilized. It takes him to the spot. Also, just, I don't like it when someone's bossing around the mutants or, like, above them, you know? Ma from Wrong Turn 2 Dead End. The mother. She cuts off M's head and kills Dale with a bolo, and I think that's all she does with kills. Other than that, she's just kind of the housewife. She has some finger food, throws it, freaks out when the kids die, which, you know, they do a great job at that. The prayer scene and just the way she's, like, pouring the food like really nicely for brother, and then just kind of slops it for Nina. I don't know. She's got character. Who, apart from the baby, she does score like the best character, one of the best characters, Henry Rollins. So that's nice. And she also gets it off with Pa. Might be controversial to put on this list, but I felt it necessary. Darius from the new movie. After 3 of his friends are killed, and one of them is blinded and tortured and put into a hole to die slowly, and they have to join them just to stay alive. 6 weeks in, they get a chance to escape, and he decides that he's gonna betray everyone and just, fuck all of his friends, I guess, that died, and fuck Jennifer, I guess. He's just gonna stay with these assholes. And that betrayal is what puts him on this list. Because he is, at the end of the movie, he is on the villain's side. Track and gets everyone in this situation to begin with. And before all of the shit goes down, I mean, like, he's pretty quick to get the cell phone to work because he fully blames himself for Gary and he needs to get them help. After the girl that Adam's chasing, when he says to, I mean, I guess loyalty, but he's not loyal at all in the end, so. But then again, Adam does do something very unforgivable before that. I don't know. I guess you can kind of write off Gary was an accident, Mila was a mercy kill, but he has no idea how Mila died or the circumstances or any of that. And Adam, it's pretty clear why they killed him. But, I don't know, there's just a certain. There's this thing, where you don't join the people that just killed your friend. He does as a villain. All it is joining them. He doesn't really kill anyone. He lets Jen go. He doesn't change his mind after she kills someone in self-defense. Because after all of his friends are killed, he's just gonna stay with them. No, like, I was gonna say maybe he thinks they'd get him if they tried to leave. No, he says that he's staying because they see me. This is the way I've wanted to live. It's like you can take note of everything they're doing right and go make your own colony that leaves out the, blinding people and leaving them to starve to death and raping them part, You could have left that alone. I think that's because he was still alive. Young Sawtooth. Played by. Actually, it's probably BJ. It's because it's Canadian, so it's French, so the T is probably silent. Yeah. Other than, like, 2 of the other ones that have been on the list so far. Like, the kid Sawtooth, One Eye, and Three Finger do not get that much screen time. And surprisingly, Sawtooth was my least favorite of them. I don't know. I really don't like that they add this extra layer of, like, oh, this guy sharpened his teeth on the rocks. This guy stabbed his own eye fingers. It's like. And I think it's stupid. Oh, and they can't feel pain, even though in Wrong Three Finger gets hit in the ball sack and falls over. I don't know. Of this Sawtooth, but I think that he's the weakest of those 3. Yeah, probably said that right, hopefully. Killer. The young ones is their shared kills. Sawtooth bites dude's neck, One Eye stabs him in the eye, an eye for an eye, and then Three Finger bites his nose off, and of course the stretched out kill and the electric kill. Good kills, but yeah, no, they don't get a lot of screen time. It's the scene where we get the bad retconny exposition that's all like they ate their parents when they've never been shown to kill each other, and just their newfound powers. The performance is pretty close to the original movie, as far as like what you would think they'd be like as kids. So I don't know. Sure. Cyperda or Kyperda or Kiperda. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's Cyperda. I think that Three Finger is my favorite of the three in general. So it makes sense that out of the three children, he'd be the best of them because he's Three Finger. Yes, clearly, you can't just expect him to get that down. It's really good. Three Finger to pop on this list, while the young iterations of One Eye and Sawtooth are above multiple One Eye and Sawtooths from 5 and 6. Most of the movies didn't really quite nail them. One Eye and Sawtooth for so many of these movies.